The Clinton emails. Doug?
Thank you, Matt.
I think she was trying to skip out before this came up. But, all right, so I want to ask you about one of the emails, and I know you addressed this briefly yesterday. Can you tell us why the State Department redacted that name and whether or not this person wound up getting a job or not?
Okay, well, I can't speak to specific cases. I'm also not going to speak to specific redactions. I will note, though, broadly, the department regularly hires political appointees with a range of skill sets for a broad variety of jobs. It's not unusual for candidates to be recommended to the department through a variety of avenues.
Would it be wrong to assume that then that this is, a case simply of nepotism or something like that? I mean, how are we then supposed to interpret?
I can't speak to specific cases, Justin.
But it's the State Department's decision to redact those names.
Yeah, and I'm not going to speak to specific redactions nor specific cases. Matt?
Well, I'm just curious. Were you answering his question, was this person hired, without getting into who it was?
Yeah, I can't speak to specific cases or specific.
In fact, pretty non-specific, since we don't know what the name is. It's specific.
Well, you're asking about a specific hiring action?
I'm asking if the person if the person referred to in this email, whose name has been redacted, ended up getting a job.
I have no information to speak to specific cases.
But you just said, in your answer to Justin, you said that the State Department hires from all sorts of places.
Yeah, from all sorts of avenues. We've received recommendations from a variety.
But this person wasn't hired then?
I have no information on that specific case or any specific case.
But if the person is not named, then it's not specific.
I think we're parsing. More on Clinton emails?
And all the question is this person referred to one of them?
Again, I am unable to speak to specific cases.
Well, how then can you disabuse us of the notion that there's any impropriety here?
Because the department regularly hires political appointees with a range of skill sets for a broad variety of jobs.
Well, why should we trust why should we believe that statement exonerates the Clinton here of any impropriety? I mean, we don't know who it is. How then can we read that as it's all good?
I'm just not going to speak anymore to specifics on this. Do we have more on Clinton emails?
Yes, we do.
Of course we do.
There was an email that came out in this recent set that is between an executive at the Clinton Foundation and Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills, where he is requesting to set up a meeting between a billionaire donor and the U.S. ambassador to Lebanon. Do you have any response to?
So, very similar to what I said before, I'm not going to speak to specific emails. However, I think you guys know State Department officials are regularly in touch with a wide variety of outside individuals and organizations, including businesses, nonprofits, NGOs, think tanks, of the wide range of individuals, both inside and outside government, that State Department officials are in contact with on a range of.
So you don't feel like this email, or you don't feel like there was impropriety in the relationship between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department?
We talk to a wide range of people at my level, at various levels in the department. NGOs, think tanks, business leaders, experts on a variety of subjects.
Doesn't this then seem to violate that pledge?
So, again, to reiterate, department officials are in touch with a wide range of individuals. I'd note that former Secretary Clinton's ethics agreement did not preclude other State Department officials from having contact with Clinton Foundation staff.
Can you at least try to answer Abigail's question, which was, has the department looked into this and determined that there was no impropriety?
The department is regularly in touch with people across the whole spectrum.
That's not the question. The question is whether or not you looked into this. The building has looked into it and determined that everything was okay, that there was nothing wrong.
We feel confident in our ability and our past practice of reaching out to a variety of sources and being responsive to requests.
I'm sorry. Am I not speaking English? Is this? Is it coming across as a form? I'm not asking you if. No one is saying it's not okay or it's bad for the department to get a broad variety of input from different people. The question is whether or not you've determined that there was nothing improper here.
We feel confident that all the rules were followed.
That's
Good.
The fact of the private server so that federal records could in fact be made available in response to the FOIA request.
So I think what you're asking about is why wasn't that FOIA request amended?
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking why a person who was both in a position to know about the FOIA request and who was well aware and frequently corresponded with former Secretary Clinton on her private account did not make the existence of that account available and known to the people whose legal responsibility it was to respond honestly, accurately, and completely to a FOIA request. That's my question. Not why wasn't it amended, why wasn't it correctly responded to in the first place?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that your answer covered not merely nepotism, which refers to family members, but also cronyism, which refers to associates.
You know, I would say that we live up to our federal obligations.
So in other words, also in this hiring situation, you're confident nothing was.
We felt confident that we followed State Department guidelines and federal law.
Okay.
Have you looked into it on that one instance? You can't.
I'm not aware of any review going on now.
So you're confident you lived up to the guidelines even though you haven't reviewed it?
I am not aware of any review, but I'm confident that we followed the guidelines and the State Department's internal procedures as well as lived up to federal law.
So you're confident that you followed the guidelines even though you're not aware of any review?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think that's a high enough standard?
Federal law?
For confidence that you followed the law?
I'm very confident in the State Department's own internal process and personnel system, absolutely.
I don't think anybody is suggesting that the department can't hire whoever, who wants to, who thinks is qualified. It's just this appearance that's out there. And so that's why I think the question is being asked. If you're confident that the rules weren't broken, I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Thanks, Matt.